Yeah. With a million podcasts out there, we're grateful you chose toilets to titles. We give fantasy football advice to get your crap team to the finals. From Nate's cousin Eddie Persona and his unapologetic love for Chubb and Justin's hatred for Chris Ballard, our show is as good as a belly rub. Mark is the best of the NFC West, putting down Penguin Pete with his love for the Rams. Grab a whiskey or a beer, we're glad you're here. Welcome to the family, we're playing for gibberish and rambling. We have recent news and games of the week. We talk PPR and weekly streams. Start them and sit them, keep them or quit them. Hit the like and sub buttons for the fellas. Got any suggestions? Just tell us. Tell us. Do it to the family. We're glad you want to battle. Do it to the family. We're glad you want a million podcasts out there. We're grateful you chose toilets to titles.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Toilets to Titles. My name is Justin Stevens. We're back with another episode. And thanks for bearing with me on that intro. We're a little late because I fumbled the ball and forgot to have that one ready. That is our rap version for a little nod to the NFL news that we're going to get to in just a little bit. So first off, Mark, we're back, man. Back for another week of this. You ready for another grueling haul here?
Absolutely.
And we got our man Nate back in the saddle again, buddy. It's good to have you back for a Toilets to Titles flagship show. So here's to you, man. Good to have you back. This will be fun getting the band back together again.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know the last time I actually did a show. I think probably back right after the season was over, but especially a Tuesday night show with you. So that's been back since the early days. So it's be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that was before your fifth kid.
I have two. Okay, just two.
Hey, speaking of kids, hey Steve, what's up, buddy? He says hi, guys. All right, so tonight's episode is going to be a fun one. It's a little bit different. So we want to try to lay out our analysis on as many players as we possibly can between now and when fantasy football kicks off. So this flagship show is the fantasy football show. So we're going to try to stay as fantasy football centric on this episode as we can. And what we've decided to do is we are going to have a mini mock draft series. So this was kind of I came up with an idea to talk about just a couple of divisions, and then Mark threw out an idea, some harebrained crazy idea to do mini mocks where we only involve the divisions that we're talking about. I love the idea, so we're going to roll with it. But if it's really awesome, it's because it was a great team effort, and if it's really bad, it was Mark's idea.
Fair.
So today we're doing the AFC East and the NFC East. So we're essentially going to be doing a mock of these teams right here: the Patriots, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. And because both of these guys are gambling fools, and to make it a little bit more interesting for the viewers, we are laying a little bit of money on the line. We're gonna say $20 for every one of these that we do for the next 4 weeks that we're laying down on it, and it's gonna be best ball style. We're gonna be drafting, as you can see at that bottom right hand corner right here. We're gonna be drafting 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends for each of these. We're gonna give a quick analysis on the players if we want. And then at the end, whoever we don't draft, maybe we give our reasons for why we wouldn't have them in fantasy football. The numbers are going to equal out to equivalent to about what most would be drafted in a superflex, a traditional 12-man superflex league, probably closer to 14-team superflex league because of the extra wide receivers there. But some of the divisions just have so many wide receivers so many good ones that are going to be fantasy relevant, that I felt like we needed to go 5 wide in our formations as well. So there's that. So for now, though, let's kick it off with a little bit of news. Nate, that's at Nate_Dirt19. 23 NFL teams reported for training camp today, my man. It's starting. Yeah. How about the Packers? Do they start today or is that tomorrow?
They were there yesterday. They reported Monday.
Oh man! All right. So any exciting news yet, other than actually point number 2 on the notes there? If you want to go ahead and jump right into that.
Yeah. So Love isn't practicing. He's there. He's in all the meetings. Everybody's fine. They know a deal's going to get done. I think everybody's just excited and ready for it. There's been some talk that it's going to be one of the biggest ones there is, which, you know what, whatever. He showed plenty for me last year to be good with whatever. And I trust, I know I've bashed on Gutekunst plenty, but, he's shown that, he can make the right decisions. So I'm not worried about it. Kenny Clark did get a restructured deal as well. That was pretty exciting. Everybody's pretty pumped about that. So, the news out of the camp is good. Everybody's pumped and ready to go.
Yeah, I had to start there, Mark, because your Rams and my Colts haven't quite started yet. We're saving our guys for later in training camp. They start tomorrow. But you can talk about point 3 here if you want. If you want to talk about Daniel Jones and what I wrote there in the notes for him.
So Daniel Jones said he should be ready and healed by training camp, which starts tomorrow, and he's also gained a lot of muscle mass and is looking physically like a different player. It's definitely a make or break year for him. I think it's good that he looks like a different player because the player he has been before this hasn't been that good. So.
Yeah, roger that. And we don't even really know if he's going to matter in this little mini draft that we're about to do because he is in the NFC East, so he will be in this little mini draft. But I'll be honest with you, in Superflex leagues, I am still raking him up in later rounds as my QB3. You're getting him for dirt cheap. And honestly, the games that he played without Saquon in the past, he did pretty good for fantasy. The team is still crap. They still didn't win. He still threw interceptions. He still fumbled a lot. But he had to run the ball more, and that's good for fantasy football to have a rushing quarterback that can run the ball more. So for fantasy purposes, I actually look for him to have a bounce-back season this year, even though the Giants still might only get 3 wins.
Jones is always good for rushing yards. I think I've said it every week on gambling shows, like to always bet is over. Whatever it is, just take it because he hits it. He'll hit it by like the second quarter.
Especially if you're in a league that has no negative points, like no points on turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, like that. That's a huge benefit for him because you're not losing anything on all those fumbles that he has.
Did I see something about Stafford restructuring his deal? Did that happen?
Stafford, yeah, he did. They got it done today, so he's back. Oh. He showed up today. Good to go.
Well, in big news in Cincinnati, we have the Cincinnati Bengals have released their franchise quarterback, Macaulay Culkin, and have decided to sign free agent Detroit native. As you can see right here behind me, Detroit native Eminem will now be on the roster as starting quarterback. So essentially, they swapped. They went from Mac Burrow to Slim Shiesty. So. I mean, who knows? New look, new you. Is that what this is all about?
He's just ready to play football.
Man, I thought I was excited for the new Slim Shady album. Earl took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, so obviously that's what I was referring to when I talked about the new rap intro, and that's our absolute best AI impersonation of rap by us guys here at Toilets Titles. So I hope I didn't offend anybody that actually likes rap. But you trust me, you're going to hear some other plenty bad genres coming up. We did the Beatles last week, rap this week. Who knows? I might do some jazz or blues next week. So I've got all kinds of them lined up. Frankenstank live draft is we're still technically. I think we're full for the live draft, but I still want to talk about the live draft because a lot of you are going to the Fantasy Football Expo. The live draft is going to be at the Fantasy Football Expo. It's going to be on that Friday of the Expo, August the 9th, and we're starting at roughly around 3 to 4 p.m. It kind of depends on when the poker tournament ends. So once the poker tournament at the fantasy football tournament ends, or at least everybody that's drafting is no longer playing in it and at the draft, then we will get started with the draft. So somewhere around 3 to 4 p.m. at the Jerseys at Centennial Park. So if you've been there before, you know that the kickoff party on Friday night starts at around 6 p.m. at Centennial Park too. So we're going to try to get as many rounds in live as we possibly can right there at Centennial Park at the jerseys and get as many rounds done as we can before the kickoff party starts. Then from there, we'll just kind of finish up whatever round we're on, and we'll finish it up as an online long draft like the rest of them after that. So really looking forward to that. But there are still I think 3 spots available in the Frankenstank League. I know we haven't sent out invitations yet. If you've been in it in the past, then I've sent you a message, and if you've responded, I know you're in. And so there you go. I think that one's for you.
Rams house.
Oh man, it looks like you hit that kegerator up. That looked like an empty glass.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I think it's pretty much it for the news, guys. Do we have anything else that I missed? I know it's a slow time in NFL news.
Michael Gallup retired.
Oh, that's right. It did just happen, right?
Yep.
Just a little bit before. So yeah, I mean, kind of news. I think
he had a few good games.
What's odd to me though is that it's happening now, and he was on the Raiders roster. They kind of need depth there, so I don't think this is necessarily due to any kind of playing time or anything, unless he felt like he deserved to be better than 4th on the depth chart. But
he didn't want anything to do with the guard dog, I guess.
There you go. A nickname, by the way, that I did not even realize was a nickname until you brought that up to me.
Oh yeah, we were texting about Scott Fishbowl. I told you I drunk drafted him.
Yeah. All right, guys. So now this is something I just threw in last minute because we're in. All 3 of us are in Scott Fishbowl. Nate, you did end up getting in, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, I thought so. I was like, because I kept thinking, man, you finished 3rd overall last season. How are you not going to be in Scott? How you should have just gotten an automatic bid. You make it to the final table, then you're obviously a baller, right?
I just figure I'm just lucky to make the playoffs this year is all I'm shooting for.
So I'm on the clock right now for the Mr. Irrelevant pick. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so that you guys can help me out here. We're going to make this pick together. All right.
My last pick got auto-picked. I felt bad. I was working that storm. I'd been gone for 4 days, and when I looked at my phone, I was like, "Oh, I got my last pick. It's okay." I was there was 2 picks after me, so I didn't feel bad.
We've got one guy that's auto-picked a bunch. Right, timed out. This guy right here, this Elliot Chris. This is the 6th time that he's timed out. But he was pretty quick the first 4 or 5 rounds just because he didn't want to get booted, and then after that, he was making kind of crappy picks, so I didn't want to say anything. But anyway, so here we are, Mr. Irrelevant. And to give you an idea of what my roster looks like, I'm at the far right there, obviously the 12th spot. I have Mr. Irrelevant. So you get points per rush. So I've got Breece Hall for that, for the big rushing attempt bonuses, and then Zach Moss, J.K. Dobbins, Will Shipley, and Trey Sermon. So not very deep at running back. This is the exact opposite of what almost all of my redraft leagues usually are. But because of the tight end premiums and Andrews fell to me, I had to go Laporta and Andrews, and I've got Isaiah Likely to cover for Andrews just in case, because I had Andrews last year and it bit me not having Likely. So, but quarterbacks, Herbert, Stafford, Daniel Jones, like we talked about a moment ago, and Flacco. So I'm confident at quarterback, especially after the inevitable Anthony Richardson injury that's going to happen. And as a Colts fan, if it doesn't, I'm still happy. So yeah. I covered my bases there. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Jameson Williams, Quentin Johnston, Michael Wilson, Kenyon Bourne. So Kendrick Bourne. Sorry. So I've got just guys at wide receiver, a couple that could break out. Hopefully, Cooper plays at 80% of Cooper Kupp, and it'll definitely pay off then. But anyway, that's my roster. I don't know if it really super matters if we're talking Mr. Irrelevant, but because really you're just trying to draft who you think could stand out. I don't know if you guys saw the list that I sent out earlier, but Is there anybody that stands out to you guys that you're thinking, you know what, we need to get this guy on Justin's roster here because he's going to help us out?
What kickers do you have?
Oh, I did not go over my kickers, did I? So, but I know who I had. So I went early because this is my fantasy league, so I can take advantage of that. So I did go early, and being on the turn, I actually double tapped kickers at like round 10 and 11. So I went with Justin Tucker and Aubrey. And then like 4 or 5 rounds later, after like 8 more kickers went off the board, I got my number 4 kicker off of my board, which is Kaimi Fairbairn. So Houston kicker who was like the 4th best kicker last year. So I've got crazy good kickers. So I'm definitely solid there. But I mean, we can definitely look at kicker too, because you can start so many, and with bye weeks, I'm not afraid to start another one. You guys know how much I love kickers, but here's our kicker list. I don't know if any of those guys stand out to you. Chicago, I mean, rookie quarterback, but good team around him. Not sure I want to touch those other 2. This guy's a rookie. Don't know about rookie kickers. So I don't know if any of these guys stand out to you at all. I guess it'd probably be Santos if it was anybody.
Yeah,
tight ends.
Was that Chase McLaughlin, the Tampa Bay kicker?
I was going to say McLaughlin too.
I mean,
you think?
I think he's decent, but I mean, it's kind of like whatever. And it just depends on how their offense is going to be. So
when you're talking kickers, Scott Fishbowl, you're thinking, can they move the ball and then not score? And that's kind of Baker Mayfield's MO, isn't it?
Well, it was. I mean,
the only other one I was going to say outside of kicker is I think I saw him on there, and I might have even took him before the last round as a late wide receiver, Josh Reynolds. I think he has a chance to do something in Denver.
And then also, are we thinking kick returns? I thought about that too. Is there anybody, because Reynolds is on that list. He's right here. So I have that as an option. Are we thinking kick returns for any of these guys? Oh, and I also thought about this one. I know it sounds crazy, and I don't think he's going to blow up. But what about Odell Beckham Jr. as the wide receiver 3 behind an aging Tyreek Hill and a high-powered offense?
He's
already starting on the physically unable to perform list.
I noticed he had the out monochrome there. But
I think if he's going to have an impact in Miami, I think his biggest impact is going to be touchdowns. I don't think he's going to get a lot of receptions or a lot of yards.
Jalen Tolbert on the kickoff return, maybe?
I just think the kicking is going to be so unpredictable this year. I personally think with the new rules that teams are going to see how big of an advantage the return teams have and just kick it out of the end zone and give it to them at 30 for the new touchback.
Yeah, possibly. They didn't really do that with the XFL, though, but also maybe the XFL told them they had to. Running backs, I was thinking, I mean, there's Cam Akers. He's just a guy at this point, but I do have Hall, Breece Hall, so I could go Israel Abanaconda. Just a handcuff. Oh, here's a sneaky one I thought of. Cordarrelle Patterson there in Pittsburgh. They're saying that they're intending on utilizing him in other forms, and then also a lot on the kick return as well.
I think he's a good last guy. Like I said, he can do it all, and they don't have any receivers now besides George Pickens. You know what I mean? So whether he plays receiver or he plays running back, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a bad pick. And like I said, maybe he returned some kicks for him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's who I had in my preset pick before I knew I was going to be up for the show. Michael, again, I know how to pronounce it, but I call him Penix. So Michael Penix Jr. Potentially starting. I know there's talk that Cousins might be ready.
I don't think he plays this year.
Sam Howell. Some people are calling for Sam Howell to be the starter by midseason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, The only one that really stood out to me that I got any kind of encouraging comments about was Cordarrelle Patterson, and I was already leaning towards him anyway. So we're gonna roll with that, so we can roll with this draft.
I had the Mr. Irrelevant pick, just like you, being in the 12 spot. I was gonna do something funny and just like take Tom Brady or something if he was still on the sleeper list, but Hayden Hurst was still available at the end of the draft, and I kind of like him being the lead tight end in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't mind that pick at all. I'm just so stacked at tight end, I didn't even really scroll down too much on that. But yeah, and he's getting more good karma to the fantasy community by showing up at the he showed up at Trophy Smack at their headquarters. So speaking of which, you can go to trophysmack.com/toilets and and start ordering those fantasy football trophies for your league this year. Fantasy football championship belts. They have other stuff there. They've got apparel and they've got all kinds of different merchandise, bumper stickers and stuff like that. Feel free to go log in there. That's trophysmack.com/toilets and titles. That gives us a little bit of a kickback too to help support our show, along with patreon.com/toilets and titles, where we have, I believe it's like 5, maybe 6 different price levels that you can choose from to help support the show. Again, that's patreon.com/toilets and titles. Gentlemen, let's get to the draft. All right, I did a random wheel spin, and Nate, you have the 101. Again, a real quick, brief rundown. We're just going to draft 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. It's going to be best ball style. I'm just going to figure it all up at the end of the season, and then we'll have a show where we talk about who won each one of these and have a reflection episode on how the season went. Feel free to tell me who you want and give any analysis on it if you want.
I did that. That was my fault for making it full screen. So
no, leave it. I like it. It's better.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see us.
I'm gonna just go ahead and take my quarterback because I don't think he'll. Well, who knows if he'd be there or not? But I like Josh Allen. I just think it's going to be a. No, not Drake May. Sorry, I thought about it. I think he's got a lot to prove. You know, he got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to play well no matter what. I know Diggs being gone. But to me, and Gabe Davis, I'm not a big Gabe Davis guy anyways. I'm not worried about Diggs. I think he's kind of a shell of his former self. I still think he's very good, but he hasn't been as good the past couple of years. So I'm still high on Josh Allen. I think he's phenomenal. I know George is going to hate that pick, but hey, he's not here.
All right, very good, very good. So I'm up. This is redraft. I'm really big on the running backs for a redraft league, so I'm going to go Breece Hall. It's kind of a no-brainer. CMC's not in this one, and Breece Hall is my 102 in all redraft formats anyway. So definitely going to be my 102 or my 101 in this one since CMC's not there. So I believe that Aaron Rodgers, being the dump-off king that he was the last 2 seasons with the Packers, now coming off of an Achilles injury, isn't going to help him to be able to sling it downfield a whole lot. Still doesn't have the best of weapons to go to downfield. And Breece Hall is probably going to be the best receiving back that he's ever had. I know he's had some decent ones there. I know. But, I mean, Breece Hall is a really good receiving back.
He's so good.
I'm not knocking Aaron Jones. I'm not knocking some of the other receiving backs he's had with the Packers. Just saying Breece Hall is that good.
Yeah.
So, Mark, where are you going to go with this one? You're the top quarterback and the top running back are off the board.
You son of a gun. You were supposed to take a quarterback there and let me have Breece Hall. But I'll take
if you double tapped quarterbacks, I would still have a quarterback option, and then Nate can only draft one anyway. So,
yeah. Well, since you left Jalen Hurts out there, I got to take him. I think he's the clear number 2 behind Josh Allen. For me, even in a normal draft, I would go Jalen Hurts after Josh Allen. So the fact that it's divisional makes him a little more valuable. Normally, I would go Tyreek Hill here, but since we have to draft 3 running backs, I am going to double tap the Eagles here and take Saquon Barkley.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yep,
I'm
definitely
curious
like
to
that.
see
Now you got the
how their offense looks with their. I don't want to swear on this show. Sorry, with their idiot offensive coordinator. So I'm not a Kellen Moore guy at all. I think he's terrible. So
He can't be worse than their head coach Sirianni making the calls. You know?
better than Sirianni. Has to be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But here's the thing: like, no matter how bad the coaching or the players were in New York, Saquon's always going to be fantasy relevant.
Oh no, he's going to be awesome, especially behind that offensive line. I think he's going to eat.
Right, and typically, as long as they're both healthy and they're both good, then rushing quarterbacks and rushing running backs will help each other. I mean, who are they going to stop? so definitely, I think that both of them are going to have a huge season for fantasy purposes for sure. But you all know my hatred for the Eagles, and you know that I think that they're going to fall flat on their face, and I'm not going to
I hope they
revisit
do.
all that.
I hate all things Philly.
But what I am going to say, I know you said you were going to go Tyreek. I'm highly considering Tyreek here as well. I don't have a quarterback, but again, I know Nate is going to get a quarterback, or very likely to, and if he does, he can only get one anyway. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. Except I'm not gonna go Tyreek though. I'm really not. I think it's CeeDee Lamb, man. I think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb as my wide receiver one out of this group. I know it sounds crazy. It seems crazy, but I don't know. Tyreek is just getting another year older and then another year older. He's not old by any means, but I just have a feeling. And I just love watching CD play as well. So that's another factor too. I would rather watch CD do well than I would to see Tyreek do well. So I'll go CeeDee Lamb and then see how much Nate shakes it up here on the turn.
Jerry needs to get his checkbook out and pay CeeDee Lamb so he's not holding out anymore.
Yeah,
and he will. He will. I'll take Tyreek. You guys have been talking about him. Give me Tyreek. He's still got it. I mean, in my opinion, there's like 5 receivers in the league that are tilt the field like him. Really, really a true number one, and he's that. And then I'll take my running back. I don't know. It's kind of tough now. I guess give me a chain. I suppose. No. Yeah, you know what? Do it. Give him to me.
All right.
Doubling up on my Dolphins there for George. So.
Yeah, no, I don't mind this one at all. This, especially in this format, being more best ball, he could be a boomer bust guy in any given week. So yeah. I like that.
He helped me in Scott Fishbowl a lot last year. I know that. So.
All right, so Nate kind of screwed me over there because I was well, first of all, had I went with Tyreek, would you have gone CD?
As either him or AJ Brown.
Oh, okay. So there would have been a chance that CD would have made it back. I didn't want to hear that either. So now he's kind of screwed me twice. I was expecting you to take a quarterback, and that's why I kind of punted it because I've got it narrowed down to 3 guys I really want at quarterback, but I want one of you guys to take one of them so I don't have to waste a pick on the other 2. But now here I am in the same dilemma, wondering if Mark's going to go quarterback on this flip here. We've got I believe what Mostert was like, number 4 overall running back last season, still in there. It seems insane to go back to back Dolphins running backs, but I think that they could both still do it again. Of course, you just mentioned AJ Brown. So we've got some options out here for that. Not really much in this division, or in either of these divisions at the tight end spot, except for Jake Ferguson. That one really stands out to me. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, a couple of names, but Ferguson is really standing out to me. Maybe had I gone Tyreek here, then I would have gone maybe Ferguson pretty soon. All right, I think I've stalled enough, and I've made my decision. I'm going to go for the stack. That Dak and Lamb stack. I got my quarterback, and now I'll just wait and see what Mark does.
That was probably pretty smart because I would have probably considered taking Dak there just to block you from having the stack with CD.
Well, there's still 2 quarterbacks that I really kind of have my eye on, but I'm waiting to see which one you take before I lock in my QB2 on the way back. And I probably shouldn't be telling showing my cards, but
We're all friends here.
yeah, if you don't take him, I'm just going to let Nate make the decision for me.
Yeah.
This is an advantage of being in the middle, I guess.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off my running backs and make you guys panic between the garbage that's left. And I am going to go with Ramondre Stevenson and
Really thought he would be there.
And man, it's tough for me. I'm between James Cook and Mostert. But I still think Mostert has another year in him, so I'm going to go with Mostert.
He's like my RB 2 or 3 in Scott Fishbowl. I was pretty excited to get him. I got him kind of late, but
yeah, he's going late in a lot of drafts. He's, again, just like A-Chain, this is an awesome opportunity in the best ball format. But yeah, I thought that Cook and Mostert both would probably go before Stevenson, but since Stevenson signed that contract, he's actually been going up quite a bit in ADP. So should have saw it coming. Kind of kicking myself that I didn't.
I just think he's got the more sure thing, like to be a 3-down back. Where I don't know if I'm ready to believe Buffalo's actually going to commit to giving Cook the amount of opportunities he should actually get.
Yeah, that's fair. And you just talked me out of actually taking him, so I'll wait another round and see if Nate goes with his second quarterback. Still try to let him make that decision for me. All right, now if I go Ferguson, I've definitely put all my eggs in one basket with the Cowboys. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that QB2 that I was thinking about. I'm going to high-powered offense. Tua is not going to be there forever, so need to get him off of the board. Again, there's still another quarterback I'd like to have, but I'll just let the two of you fight over him.
I would never, ever. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do Tua. Never. Can't do it. Buy one. I'll take give me Dalton Kincaid. I think that may be Josh Allen's number one target. Might as well take the first tight end, which is weird. I've never done that before, ever.
In this format.
And yeah, I was gonna take him. I'll do it. I can take AJ Brown now. I mean, why not?
Yeah, he fell too far.
Yep.
All right. Well, damn. All right, now I have to. I mean, now that tight ends are off the board, I've got to take Ferguson because after him, there's a huge drop off. So, I guess I'm starting off with 3 Cowboys.
I wait every year for Dallas Goedert to it seems like it's there, and then there's nothing. It's so. I guess maybe he's good for best ball. Maybe I should have taken him, but gosh darn it, he seems like he's so good, but just doesn't ever pan out like you hope it will.
Average is always pretty solid, but he never has those games that are just going to win you games.
No.
All right, so I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle.
All right, you can have him. You guys everybody knows my hate for that
MBS, down a row and over to the right.
Oh, I put him in alphabetical order. You think I'd know that?
And I am going to grab
oh, wait, you guys can see my cursor too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I've been giving away my picks.
I'm going to take the last of the 2 quarterbacks, and I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels for a little rushing upside. I don't want to go with Rodgers and have him be done after a play again.
Don't say that.
That was the other one I was thinking of. No, Nate can play the game here, and he can wait until the last round to take his QB2 if he wants.
Yep.
We've locked in our QB, so he has that option going for him. Let's see. All right. This division is not great at wide receiver at all. Outside of the top, obviously, A.J. Brown, Tyreek, CD, Waddle, even if you want, can be considered some of the best. But I'm gonna play the game here, and I'll explain after my next pick. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson on this one and see what Nate does about that. He already has 2 wide receivers, but we do need to start 5, so he still might take one.
Yeah, I kind of screwed up my plan there. I'll take. Hey,
love to hear it.
I forget Terry McLaurin's there. I'll give you Terry McLaurin. I'm not worried about the quarterback thing. He's good. He'll figure it out.
You always love Terry McLaurin, and I don't hate it.
And then why not give me Dallas Goedert too? I'll get my other tight end out of the way. He's a good, solid floor. You know.
Oh, you weren't supposed to do that yet.
There's not much.
Come on.
Not much else left there for tight ends. I mean,
Jesus.
I am a big Luke Schoonmaker fan just because he's a Michigan guy, but he's not really a big point guy. So, yeah. And Zach Ertz might be older than all 3 of us combined.
Now, I think the next 3 best tight ends on this board are all pretty much the same guy to me. So I could, because I was thinking, do I go tight end 2 and really force him? But you can only start 2. So then, like, he could just wait until the end to draft his 2. So I'm not going to allow him that kind of flexibility at this point. My strategy pick there was that between Garrett Wilson and where was he? Devonta Smith. I was kind of leaning a little bit towards Wilson, but then I saw that Nate had A.J. Brown already. So the likelihood of him taking A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith were a little slimmer. So I went Wilson first so that I could get Smith on the bounce back.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have got Wilson if you would have taken Smith that time, because that's who I was going to take. But it's okay. I wanted Devonta Smith. I was like, I can't have 2 of them. I can't have both Eagles.
Right. All right, so that worked out well for me, and you still got an Eagle. You got Dallas Goedert there, so between him and A.J. Brown, you should get a lot of touchdowns there. All right, Mark, what do you got?
He's taking Durham Smythe.
Well, I'm definitely just sticking in the receiver zone here. Give me Malik Neighbors.
Yep. That one was absolutely going to be next on my list. And now I have another one that's an absolute next.
An absolute next, huh?
Yep.
Well,
for me, at wide receiver, I do, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think this guy's going to be the number 1 receiver in Buffalo at the end of the year. I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel, which I know is going to be the unpopular opinion, but
I was thinking Keon Coleman as my absolute next at wide receiver.
There's a little too much hype there. I don't see him dominating this year. I see him starting off slow.
Man, that's all I have is hype. Let me have this. Let's see. All right, no, I'm going to go running back next because Nate still also only has 1 running back, just as I do. And we have to start 3 of them, so it's going to start looking slim there. It's going to start looking as slim as Slim Shiesty. So I'm going to go with Singletary is going to get pretty much every single bit of the workload. It's just going to be a really bad workload.
I don't know. They like Tracy a lot in camp.
I was thinking about James Cook up here where I took Tua, and he's still falling this deep. So I kind of feel like I've got to take him off the board now. Again, I'm kind of like you, Mark. I'm not a huge fan this year, but in the 9th round in a format like this, I mean, it makes sense. All right, Nate.
Well,
actually, maybe we should show our faces because I don't know if I'm upsetting anybody or not.
I can't see the dang board now. Give me
shoot.
It's all right. I can make it work.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'll go. Let's see what Austin Eckler's got left in the tank. I don't foresee it to be like it has been, but you never know. I was really hoping for Jimmy Cook there, but
This is PPR. That was going to be my next pick, so that's probably a good call there.
what do I need left here? Trying to see what I need. I need another running back, a couple receivers, and a quarterback, right? I'll go. Let me get on that hype train with Keon Coleman. Why not? I can stack him up with my Bills. So who knows? Maybe he'll have 1 or 2 touchdowns. Hey, you can get my favorite former Colt, Justin.
Your favorite former Colt? You talking about Paris Campbell?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, speedy dude, and I do think he's going to be the kickoff return man. So,
man, I just wanted it to work.
I have no idea, like, what kind of scoring we're going to use on kick returns. Tell you what, I'll make it easy on me for doing the scoring here, and we're going to use whatever my home league uses, so I can just copy and paste it from ESPN.
That's
and
fine.
We don't know yet because we don't have our rules meeting until like in the day of the draft. So, so I don't even know if we're going to do kickoff return points or not. So it'll be easier for me to just copy and paste. Let's see. Man. Yeah, he's super fast. But if I'm going to
super fragile.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
I don't mean talk you out of the guy, but
no, I don't. I didn't. I'm not considering Paris Campbell right here at all. I saw enough of him in Indianapolis. You can have him.
I didn't really see anything of him. I didn't even know he played.
Yeah, he had a few really good games, but they were all before week 3 of each individual season. Dude was always hurt. He's like glass. Man, no. I think I'm gonna go with Devin Singletary here. I just talked about all the workload. I keep going back to him. I know they like the rookie. I know they've got nothing else, and they're going to throw the ball a lot early and often. But, I mean, I have to start 3 running backs, and I just don't see anybody else on the list after this that I'm super confident or comfortable in. Actually, I should have played the game and waited until the next round because Mark already has all 3 of his running backs. But that sticker's on the board, so I'm stuck.
Yep.
That it is.
I love Singletary. He was awesome at FAU. He led the league in broken tackles his senior season at FAU. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's when they played 3 games against Underwater Basket Weaving University, right?
Hey, they tried. It's not their fault. There's too many schools in Florida.
I guess what I'm going to do here is leave you with the crappy tight end. Or, I mean, not that they're all not crappy at this point. But the one I do want on my board is Tyler Conklin. I want to throw him out there.
You've talked highly of him this offseason.
I do.
So.
He was my plan when I thought we were only drafting 1 tight end, but didn't want him as my first with 2 tight ends.
Durham Smythe. He's waiting for you, dude.
Yeah. To me, it's between Henry and Bellinger, and I'm just going to go with Henry because I at least know he's got a consistent floor.
Cool. So I had 3 tight ends that I was considering at this point, and none of them were those 2. So awesome.
Well, that just means you were considering the wrong tight ends.
That's very true, but I'm just saying I'm happy I still get my choice.
Yes.
I didn't say they were good choices. All right, so let's see. I need 2 wide receivers and a tight end. That's it. So, and I don't have to take my tight end now until the end. So I'm definitely looking at 2 wide receivers. I have 2 in mind that I want. trying to consider the game on how I can get them to come back to me here, but one wide receiver in particular, it's kind of standing out to me. George got me hooked on him at the end of the season last year, and I was like, dude, you're absolutely crazy. There's no Patriots wide receivers that are worth it. But Demario Douglas should have a good role in that offense, and if he happens to give me some kick return yards, so be it. But I don't think he will be the kick return guy, and I still think that Kendrick Bourne technically is going to be the wide receiver one on the depth chart, but I think Demario Douglas is going to get more of the targets and the workload.
I like it. Well, I don't need my quarterback because I can wait. I will take, I'm going for it. Give me Zeke going home. We'll see what happens. I think, he'll have a few weeks. As long as they keep him in between the tackles, they still have a really good offensive line. I think he's got a little juice left. It's very evident when he tries to go around the outside, he doesn't have that speed anymore, and that's fine. They don't need him for that. Just run up the middle and score touchdowns. And my receiver, my best ball darling, if he could just stay healthy, maybe this is the year, Mike Williams. It seems like I've been bitten by him so many times, but one of the times maybe it won't hurt. So
I said that I was considering two wide receivers right there, and it was the Demario Douglas or Mike Williams. That he's still going to win you the 50-50 balls in the end zone that Rodgers is going to toss up there, and we know that Rodgers likes to toss up those 50-50 balls to the big receivers. So, yeah, I like it. You got your 5 wide receivers now. Let's see. I still need a wide receiver and my tight end. So. Definitely going wide receiver here since you have both of your tight ends, Mark. Let's see. Man, which heap of this crap do I want?
Khalil Shakir may be the number 1 in Buffalo.
Yeah, he may be. He also may be getting some kickoff return points if we have that. I'm kind of thinking maybe Brandon Cooks in a full, actual, solid wide receiver 2 role there in that offense. I'm thinking maybe I go Kendrick Bourne to handcuff my Demario Douglas pick in case I screwed that up. Alan Lazard, we never really got to see any kind of that rapport with Rodgers. Jalen Tolbert, I think, is going to be a return man for Dallas.
Did everybody love Wan'Dale Robinson for like 3 or 4 weeks last year at the Giants too?
What's that?
Wasn't Wan'Dale Robinson like everybody's big fan of him for like 3 or 4 weeks last year?
Yeah, and he's a guy that I'm still getting late in almost every draft because those few weeks that we really loved him were the last few weeks he played before he got injured. And I mean, he was picking up a lot of rapport with Daniel Jones, and if Daniel Jones only has this much rapport to give, you want all of it.
Oh yeah.
So he seemed to have it with them, but all right, damn it, you talked me into it. All right, I'm going Wan'Dale Robinson. I've gotten him like this late in just about every other draft. Why not make it this late in this draft too? And again, that's because I'm going with Daniel Jones so late in a lot of 2 quarterback leagues as well. If it's a stack, or it's a small stack, it's a short stack. It's the little pancakes, but it's still a stack. All right, Mark, your last 2 must be wide receivers.
Yeah, so I'm going to start one of my last 2 picks with a little stack myself and go with Jahan Dotson.
Mm-hmm.
Hope for a little breakout this season.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
And
I'm not personally a Dotson guy. He's bit me too many times, but I can definitely see the luster in him for this season.
I thought about going Shakir here just to give me another piece of the Buffalo offense and try to counteract not having Josh Allen. But I think I'm going to go Brandon Cooks here because I think they're going to have to throw to somebody other than CeeDee Lamb. And I think Cooks is going to be the only guy there.
Schoonmaker.
All right.
That Cooks,
all right, so
it's
now
got to happen this year.
I'm in that tight end spot, and personally, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like I know the guy gets hurt a lot, but when he does play, his points per game are solid. I'm gonna go with Zach Ertz. I think he'll be able to hold down a decent role in that offense. I think that they're going to throw the ball a lot more than people are anticipating with the Commanders, and they really need a tight end. I know they drafted a dude, and they with Ben Sinnott. No, he's not just a dude. Like he's a good tight end. I understand that. But still, tight ends usually take a little time to develop. So I'm going to play that game and hope that Zach Ertz still has something left in the tank.
Hell yeah. I think I just have to take Aaron Rodgers here. That's my guy. Always has been. So
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I don't know what we're going to get. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to start for the majority of the season, if not the whole season in New England. And I like Jacoby Brissett. He's been solid. He was good. He's good. He's been serviceable everywhere he's been, I guess you could say. He's not, obviously not winning jobs, but and as far as the rest of them go, I feel good about Aaron Rodgers.
That's one of the things I never understand. With a team like New England, you're obviously not competing for anything. Why not throw the rookie out there? I hate the mentality of if you throw him out too soon, you're going to ruin his confidence. If his confidence gets ruined that quick, then he's not your franchise quarterback. Just throw him out there and let him play.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Manning won 2 games and led the league in interceptions his rookie year. Like, I get that he's not going to be Peyton Manning, but still, like, if you have that level of confidence, like you said, it's not gonna hurt nothing. The only other thing I can think is, like, if that offensive line is that bad, like if they really think that, and the offensive line isn't totally the problem there. They've got a lot of issues, but if you don't want to kill your rookie.
No,
soon
they
to
got
be
to get
franchise
defense,
quarterback.
Then that's about it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be wild.
I think Daniel Jones is my next one out. Looking in this list pretty handedly, just because we know he's got the starting spot. I mean, I do think that this is his last season of having an opportunity to finally prove anything. But like I said, I think we're going to see a small resurgence with him. I think he's going to end up doing enough to keep that job, just because they don't know what they're doing in New York more than anything.
Yeah, it's wild up there. I forgot Hard Knocks was back on with New York, so I started watching that this morning before work. So I need to get back into it and get some more episodes knocked out.
Well, Mark, if this was a 12-team league, we still have some running backs there available that would probably be drafted. Anybody there that you would say would be next up on your list?
Yeah, so the one I wanted to talk about because Nate picked his partner in crime over him. And when you took Singletary, you said that there was no other running backs you really liked on the board. I like Brian Robinson. I like him over Eckler, and I like him over Singletary. I think he's going to get a lot of work. And I think what we saw from Eckler last year is that they're going to have to limit him a little bit just so he doesn't take all the wear and tear throughout the season. So I think Robinson still gets a heavy share of work this season.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It was definitely
Gibson. Oh, go ahead.
I said that was definitely a coin flip with Robinson and Eckler. It was like, who knows what happens. So, like I said, I think Robinson would probably be my next pick out of anybody.
So Antonio Gibson and Ray Davis were both guys that I was a lot bigger on early on in the offseason. I really thought that Ray Davis would be getting a lot more run in the offseason for Buffalo, and that Antonio Gibson was going to have like a lot of that third down type even though Stevenson is good out of the backfield too, like he's a good receiving down back, I still just kind of envision them trying to split a lot. And then they gave Stevenson that big contract, and now Ray Davis, like he just keeps going down. I think he's number 4 right now on the depth chart. If memory serves, I'm going to look that up because I don't want to throw that out and be wrong. But they still have him listed as second on ESPN. I feel like there was another site that I saw him fourth on the depth chart there, but anyway, so maybe Ray Davis is a guy that we can still look at later on in 12-team leagues. But Rico Dowdle, like if this were a 12-team league and you have Zeke, probably not a bad idea to get Rico Dowdle later too, aging running backs and that sort of thing. We've already kind of talked a lot about the wide receivers, not really much to talk about the tight end spot, except I will say if I didn't have Wan'Dale Robinson already on my roster, there's a good chance that I probably would have went with Daniel Bellinger instead of Zach Ertz to get that or well, I guess I can't say stack because I keep forgetting Daniel Jones isn't my third quarterback here. But again, with an improved Daniel Jones, if I really feel like there's going to be an improved Daniel Jones, somebody's got to get the targets there. I went with Wan'Dale Robinson. If I didn't go Robinson, I would have went with Bellinger. So Bellinger showed promise his rookie season, and then we haven't seen much of him since. He got hurt last year, and so I feel like this could be that third-year breakout type of season for Bellinger, just because of the circumstances. You've got no running game really to speak of. You've got a quarterback that's mostly not very competent. Trying to think of the nicest way to put it. So a lot of dump off passes. So there could be a lot of real opportunity for Bellinger to see targets in that offense. So he's another late tight end I've been taking in a lot of leagues. Maybe Ben Sonnet. Not much else there at tight end, really.
I've been hearing a lot of people creeping with Jonnu Smith up in the late rounds, like taking a flyer on him. I just don't think Miami utilizes the tight end enough for him to be valuable.
No.
Yeah. And why would you? With the wide receiving core that you have, you don't really need to. Like, I think you're much better off to keep your tight ends in line on the offensive line and help protect your franchise back there with Tua. Because, I mean, I don't want to jump on that bandwagon, but like he's not the greatest quarterback. When he has time and he has those weapons, he can do great things. But he's not a great actual NFL quarterback. So like, but if he gets hurt, do they still have Mike White? Like, who's their backup there? I don't think I even put. Yeah, is it Mike White? So
and then
like
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar, yep. Hey, looky there. Hey, all right. Good man. And he said Nate got second.
Wow.
Definitely. Oh, he said definitely. He slapped the definitely on your face.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll revisit this one for sure.
Yeah,
we'll come back.
Yeah,
Steve Evans coming back to talk to you, Uncle Steve.
Oh, he'll be at Canton too. So so you guys can hash that out. Plus, also you're going to have 3 more drafts to try to bounce back here. So. And that's what
I'm pretty happy with my team.
Yeah.
I think I got a good advantage at running back over you guys.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, my running backs aren't very good. That's all right. I got Josh Allen. I'm happy.
Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't need anything else.
All right, so Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. Then you've got Achane, Eckler, and Zeke. Yeah, definitely weak there, but you're going to be weak somewhere. You're solid at tight end though with Kincaid and Goddard, which that's spelled incorrectly.
Go Bear.
Go Bear.
That's a basketball player. I think he's in the association, right? Rudy, isn't that his name? I don't watch basketball, but
I thought Dallas Goedert was French. My bad.
Could be. Who knows?
And then, but solid at wide receiver, man. Like, and again, I have Keon Coleman ranked higher than most people, but you've got Coleman, AJ Brown, Tyreek, McLaurin, and Mike Williams to go with Keon Coleman. So definitely a solid team there. I've got Breece Hall, James Cook, and Devin Singletary. So I'm very satisfied with my running backs. Wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Douglas, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Not a lot of depth there. If one of those other two at the bottom can do anything at all, though, I think it helps. Dak and Tua at quarterback. I would argue that I may have the best two quarterback combo. I think I think we're pretty close, all three of us across the board on that one. I think the averages are going to be pretty close on that. So never mind. I started to say that, but now I think it's going to be pretty close to even. Jake Ferguson, Zach Ertz at tight end. Yeah, I'm happy with it. That is a good team, Steve. Mark, you have Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. Then you went Saquon, Ramondre, and Mostert. Taking those three running backs early did put a bit of a hit on us, other guys. So that was a good strategy there. I'm just not that fond of your wide receivers. I think that's really
my
the
wide
only reason.
receivers are definitely, you want more there. But knowing that, I went with a lot of high upside guys. So if I can get, like, Malik Neighbors is a stud. And if Daniel Jones can do anything this year, he's going to put up a lot of points. I think Curtis Samuel is going to be awesome in Buffalo's offense. And then if I can get anything out of Dotson and Cooks, I think I got a chance there. But I think my running backs make up for what I lack in receiver.
Yep, I agree. And
does anybody remember who Mike Evans's quarterback was his rookie season? Oh yeah, Josh McCown. Okay, I had to look it up, but I didn't think I was going to be able to find it. All right, so here's the reason why. And Mark, you know this stat because you were on that episode with me when I was talking about Malik Neighbors. But here's the thing that I keep going back to about Malik Neighbors that I'm battling with on him. Because I do think that he's a really solid talent. I think he's going to be great in the league for a long time. What worries me is that offense and them being able to throw the ball very effectively. So, and the reason I say that is because since Daniel Jones has taken over, he has finished in the bottom 10 in the league in passing every single season. And that's passing yards and passing attempts. He's finished in the bottom 10 in passing offense every single season. And then in the history of the NFL, there's only been one time that a rookie wide receiver has come into the league and finished wide receiver 30 or higher. Like not even wide receiver 1 numbers, but a wide receiver 30 overall or higher, that a rookie wide receiver has come and finished wide receiver 30 or higher on a team that has passed or that has had passing numbers that finished in the bottom 10 in the league for that season. So while Daniel Jones may do better with Malik Neighbors, he's not even been close enough for me to believe that he's going to be out of that bottom 10 again. So with that kind of a stat, that's just insane to me to think, is Malik Neighbors going to be that much better than Mike Evans? Because Mike Evans was only wide receiver 30 overall because he had 14 touchdowns his rookie year. Is Daniel Jones going to be able to feed him that many touchdowns more so than Josh McCown, who had been in the league for a long time at that point, was able to feed into Mike Evans? And I don't know. I just don't see it. But I mean, in this format, obviously, I'm talking like overall 12-team fantasy. I'm not knocking your pick here. In this format, we're doing all kinds of crazy shit. But for overall fantasy football, it's just something that we have to consider when we think about Malik Neighbors and where we're going to rank him. And that's why I think I've got him lower than most people did have him in our redraft rankings here at Toilets and Titles on the website, toiletsandtitles.com. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to overanalyze it to find a way not to have him on my rosters. But as a talent, dynasty, absolutely. But
I mean, the only counter to that is, Daniel Jones has been in the bottom since he's been in there, but what has he had on the offense? He had Beckham there, right, for a year, and I think that was probably one of his better seasons, but I'm pretty sure Beckham got hurt that year too before he left, didn't he?
He was still the number 1 wide receiver on the season that year, but there was another receiver that was only a few yards and a few catches behind him. I can't remember who it is right off now. I mean, we did that episode several weeks ago. It might have been Slayton, actually, now that I think about it. But my point is, too, is that Barkley is a receiving back that did really well out of the backfield, and those numbers still count towards Jones's passing yards and passing stats. And Barkley still played most of the season, and he still couldn't finish out of the top 10. Out of the bottom 10, I mean. I don't know. He's not going to have Barkley there anymore, which means traditionally speaking, in the past, when he hasn't had Barkley, he's ran the ball more. I don't know. Like I said, in this format, whatever. He's your wide receiver 2, and you got him in the seventh round. Still crazy good. I don't knock it here. I'm just trying to tell the people for their 12-team leagues the reason why I'm skeptic of him.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm trying to find where I have him in my redraft rankings here real quick. I'm not saying to take him. So I have him the 29th overall receiver. So again, I'm not saying we're taking him super high. I just think he has a lot of talent and can do some good in New York.
Bring out the better in Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
We hope.
I just think it's the best receiver since Beckham that he's going to have, that he's had to throw to.
Yeah.
All right. Here it is, Malik Neighbors. And actually, I wasn't the worst on him. Number 29. Mark, you were the worst on him at 29. And
so you actually have one higher than I do.
Yeah, myself and Coach have him at 28. And like I said, in my mind, with these stats and my thought process is there's no way he gets in the top 30. But my heart's telling me he will. I had to put him in there. And then Wicked is drinking that dynasty Kool-Aid over here, having him marked today. He thinks that Daniel Jones is going to find his inner Manning.
If you have a first or second year player, it's like an automatic requirement. He's got to be in the top 10 for Wicked.
Right. Yes, exactly right. Nate, you have him at 18, so you're definitely higher on him than myself and Mark for sure. You're the second highest overall on him.
This is the first time that we've had Nate on air since his Chubb number 1 overall ranking. Got to talk a little bit about that, right?
I don't think I actually put him as that in here. It just in my heart, he's number 1.
Yeah, Chubb is always the number 1 in his heart, but
yeah,
he has him number 14 on his list.
Yeah,
it may as well be 1. I mean, the guy's starting off with an injury that we don't know for sure he's going to be ready from. But
I sent you that video of him squatting like 560 the other day. He's fine. He's fine.
So our normal, typical viewers know to just mark that one off and bump up this average a little bit.
You'll see.
You'll be fine.
You'll see.
Yeah, he was. That was insane video of him.
Yeah.
Him squatting, but pretty early from the knee surgery. If you ask me to be pushing it that much, but he's an animal.
He's the dog. He's the best. I think that was just an episode where I said that Chubb would have better numbers than Breece Hall when I was all fired up. Which maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, if he gets healthy and plays, he can be better than anybody. But
yeah. I mean, Breece Hall could just as well be Chubb if he ends up getting injured as well, so who knows? Guys, don't forget Wicked's 32 league tournament, $15 to enter a team. And the way it works is you will be thrown into a 12-team league, 32 different, if it all fills, 32 different leagues will all battle. And the winner of each individual league will face in a 32-team playoff at the end of the season. The winner overall, if it fills, will get $4,000 for a $15 buy-in. You can also buy in up to 6 entries in this tournament. So you will be in 6 different leagues. All of them are ran on Sleeper. All of them are ran by Wicked. You want to get a hold of him at Wicked_Dynasty. And then he'll get you signed up for one of those leagues. I know I'm in the New York Giants league just because that's the one he was trying to fill when I told him I would play. I'll probably also join the Colts league when he gets around to trying to fill that one. But yeah, in $15 buy-in for an opportunity to win $4,000 if it all fills. And if you buy 6 entries, it's $90. I did the math. We're good. It's a $90 entry for a chance to win $4,000 if it all fills, and you help our odds of filling it. So, I mean, definitely could be worth something there. Do you guys have a team in that yet, or are you going to?
I'm going to. I don't yet. I was probably just.
I forgot about it. I'll find out.
Stars.
Yeah, we don't have our draft yet. I think we're waiting on one more to fill our Giants league, and then we're going to have our draft. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, other than Scott Fishbowl, I don't think we really have any other drafts going on. Both of your drafts are done for Scott Fishbowl, right?
Yeah. Yep. I finished today.
I was done last Tuesday or Wednesday.
Good night, Uncle Steve. Appreciate you tuning in.
Steve.
Yeah, how's you guys? Nate, are you following it up with another 3rd place finish, or are you going for the victory this year?
Well, I'd like to win. I mean, I don't want to, but I'm just hoping I make the playoffs. Last year was my 2nd year in, and I got 3rd place. The year before, I don't even think I won 4 games. My team was terrible, a lot of injuries. So maybe somewhere in the middle, whatever. It's all for fun and charity anyways. So that the playoffs for Scott Fishbowl are just wild, though. You just check and check and check, and then you're like, oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, shoot. I'm going on. It was just kind of wild to watch it, like, all happen. So.
Yeah. I remember texting you one night about how you were doing, and you were like, I don't know. I just keep hitting refresh.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your team, Mark?
I am. I feel like I got a lot of value early on in the draft. It didn't really go as I expected it to because I wanted to go hero running back, but I ended up I only had like 2 running backs early or through the midpoint of the draft, and it was Aaron Jones and Zamir White. But I got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I got my quarterbacks were Herbert and Lawrence in the middle of the draft, so I kind of need a little luck there, I think, but pretty happy with it.
I got Herbert and Love, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I have Herbert too. I think
the hair bear.
So we all have Herbert then, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, I got Herbert. I got him in the 4th. Herbert, Stafford, and Daniel Jones. Joe Flacco. No, I was going to go hero running back as well, and I actually pretty much did because I didn't get my next running back until the 8th round with Zach Moss. But I was going to go, one of each of the 4 positions in the first 4 rounds. Did not get the wide receiver because of Mark Andrews falling to me like he did in the 3rd. In this scoring format with tight end premiums, I had no idea that I never would have thought that Mark Andrews would have fallen to me in the 3rd round. So I had to go for it. And so hopefully that still pans out. I think if Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp can be a good stack for just at least one more season for me, man, you need to call up your Rams, man. Send them a letter for me, something.
People are way too low on Cooper Kupp this season. Way too low. He's healthy. As long as he can stay that way, he's going to have a productive season. But yeah, I was the same way with Kelce in the 3rd round. Like, shocked that he was there. So I started off wanting either Breece Hall or Bijan. Both of them were gone. So I took Tyreek Hill and St. Brown and said, okay, I'll get Justin Taylor in the Taylor in the 3rd round. And then Kelce falls to the 3rd round. So I couldn't take Taylor there. I was like, I have to take Kelce. So then my running back strategy was just kind of out of the window at that point.
Nah, I don't ever have a strategy. I just go in and see what the hell's going to happen.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Like I said, I feel like sometimes you get
year in a row.
you get so stuck on something. You're like, I got to do this. It's like, yeah, the hell with that.
Yeah.
You're like, let's see what I feel like this time.
Yeah, this is my 5th year in a row, and all 5 years the draft has gone exactly not like I had planned.
Nope.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe I should try that next time. Just draft from the middle and just say screw it, because
Just
in
shoot
the
from the
middle
hip.
you don't have a plan.
Nope. Just
Like,
shoot from the hip and go with your heart.
Or you could take pick number 1 because then you know what's going to be there for your first pick.
You can at least plan for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we'll get off here. Let you hit that kegerator and enjoy your night. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week we're just going to go around the horn. So next week we'll go from the east to the south. So that means we'll be talking about my Colts in the AFC South and the NFC South, and we'll do a draft for them as well, and update you on any NFL news or updates that we might have along the way. But thanks for tuning in, fellas, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
See you.